Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Daryl, Jeff, and Christopher all sent me a story out of Florida, and this must have happened recently because I got emails, boom, 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 right in a row regarding this, and the headline says, I'm angry. 3 deputies resign after tampering with evidence, according to the sheriff. WFTV.com broadcast the story by Sarah Wilson, Caitlin Briscorn, and Jack DeMarco, and Polk County, Florida. 3 Polk County deputies were arrested Friday after they were accused of tampering with evidence, according to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Who indeed shall arrest the police? Sheriff Grady Judd said all 3 deputies resigned upon request, but that they would have been terminated had they not resigned. So they went to these guys and said, look, you're under arrest. Do you want to quit or do we have to fire you? I said, okay, we'll quit. Now, former deputies each bonded out of jail after their arrests. So they're out on bail. But the sheriff's office said that one of them searched a woman's car during a December traffic stop and found narcotics and cash before the other 2 arrived at the scene as backup units. In his report, he said the driver was found to have a large amount of U.S. currency inside her right pants pocket. The denominations of the U.S. currency are consistent with small narcotics sales. So they can deduce that you're breaking the law by what size the bills are in your pocket. Just put that in the back of your mind, just chew on that for a little bit. On December 23rd, deputies said that same deputy placed 13 items of evidence in a property and evidence storage locker at his substation. 13 items of evidence. The money was not listed as evidence, and it was not logged in the suspect's property at the jail, according to a report. During the investigation, detectives found a supplemental report created by the same deputy on March 16th, adding $723 as an item of evidence in the property insert portion of the report. So apparently, you can write a report and then you can add things to it later. He electronically signed the report, and it was approved by one of the other deputies, as a notary. The electronic notary was later found to be fraudulent. So there's something going on here. Detectives then interviewed a property and evidence officer who told them that on March 15th, the one deputy called her at work and asked her to call him back from her personal cell phone. Please call me back on your personal phone. When she did, he told her that all of the evidence from the December arrest was accounted for except the money. He told the officer that one of the other deputies moved the evidence from his trunk to the other deputy's trunk, and they couldn't find the money after that. The money disappeared. The money that was so suspicious, by the way. Because remember, they claimed that what made it suspicious was the denominations of the bills. So it's not like they can just say, okay, $700, and no, they need to hang on to the actual bills, because that's what's so suspicious is the denominations of those bills. So it's very incriminating. So it's important to hang on to it and not lose it. So the sheriff's office says that the deputy then asked the officer if there was something he could do to replace the money. After the phone call, the officer checked all the databases, reports, and locations, but was unable to locate the money anywhere. She then reported the phone call to her supervisor, who notified the sergeant of the deputy, according to investigators. So this is good. People always say, Steve, if there's bad cops out there and good cops know about it and they do nothing, then they're bad too. So here we have a situation where a deputy calls a clerk who's a police officer, but she's in charge of something, and says, hey, look, I can't find this money. Is there something we can do to fix this? And instead of saying, yes, there is, she goes, no, I don't know. And then she calls this guy's boss and goes, guess what? This guy lost some evidence. At least that's what he says, but it appears to have been gone. So the sergeant then called the deputy about the phone call. He told the sergeant that he and the other deputy were going to make it right by submitting their own money into evidence to replace it. The sergeant told the deputy that was not proper procedure and just stop. Don't do anything further. But think about this. Remember that earlier in the story, she had a large amount of U.S. currency inside her right pants pockets, the denominations of which were consistent with small narcotics sales. So the money was evidence. not the amount of money. The denominations of the bills were important. So when he says, we lost those bills, can I replace them with my own money? No, because the evidence isn't the number 723. The evidence is the denominations of the bills. I don't mean to hammer on that, but it's funny that a police officer actually said, I've lost this evidence. Can I replace it with my own evidence? That's not how evidence works. I would know. I've taken classes on evidence. Deputy said on March 15th that the one deputy then sent the other one $500 through a cash app. They said the plan was for him to add the remaining $233 of his own money and submit it to property and evidence. And when that attempt failed, he then asked for his money back. Can I have my evidence back? Everyone at this agency knows that they're held to the highest standards, and they also know that if they break the law, we're going to hold them strictly accountable. The higher up said, and this is Sheriff Grady Judd talking, I'm angry that these three violated the law and in the process betrayed the trust of our citizens. Their actions are reprehensible and do not reflect the mission and vision of the Polk County Sheriff's Office. The mission and vision of the Sheriff's Office. I also commend the agency members who immediately took action to do the right thing and correct this unlawful conduct. And again, I salute them as well. And again, that's a recurring theme in the comment sections below my videos talking about cops, is if there's a department that's got bad cops in it and good cops know about it, they should do something about it, and here one did. The Sheriff's Office said the deputy's commanding officer contacted the state attorney's office and requested that charges be dropped against the arrestee from the December 21st arrest. So the woman who was arrested and had her money taken and then misappropriated, the charges have been dropped. The question is, will she get her money back, and if so, from whom? Because it's gone. Deputies said an extensive audit of all three deputies' criminal case reports and lists of seized property and evidence is underway, and that if any additional discrepancies or unlawful activity are found, more charges will be filed against them. And I don't have to tell you the painfully obvious that when you catch somebody who's been in a position of power for a while and they've done something like this, the odds that it was the first and only isolated incident where they did this seems pretty slim if you understand human nature. If I had to guess, I would guess that they've done it before. But we'll find out, because if they do a good, extensive audit, they'll find out, right? Who knows? If nothing else, they've gotten away with it till now. But I'm angry, the sheriff says. 3 deputies resign, and they would have been fired if they hadn't resigned, and they have also all been arrested. And I don't know what they're paying the deputies down there in Florida, but to have 3 guys risk their careers over $723. Now, I ain't no mathematician, but if you divide that by 3, it's not even $250 a piece. So let's assume for a moment this is an isolated incident. Let's assume this is the first and only time these guys have ever done anything wrong, ever. They just risked their careers, and it cost them their careers, for less than $250 a piece. $250. So that's if this was an isolated incident. And, you know, we've heard stories where they routinely do these busts that involve, you know, bales of money, big piles, mountains of money. You know, you see this where it's like, you know, this is the latest seizure we have, and they have a press conference. There's a folding table that's stacked this deep in U.S. currency. And it's like this big mountain of money. These guys, $723. And as noted, it wasn't just money they seized from somebody. It was actual evidence. And I know someone's going to say, Steve, you repeated that several times. But this is an important distinction, because they routinely arrest people, take the money from them, like civil asset forfeiture. And if they're ordered to give the money back, they don't give them back the exact same money. They just say, oh, we took, $5,000 from somebody. We're ordered to give them back $5,000. So they give them $5,000. This exact money was evidence. So when an officer says, oh, can I replace it with my own? Imagine it's a different piece of evidence. We found a broken bottle at the scene of the crime. We think it's important. Okay, I lost it. Can I submit another one? Of course not. It's absurd. So I don't know which is worse here. The fact that these guys stole money, or the fact that they're so flippant about how they handle evidence. Oh, we lost evidence? Well, we can just replace it with other evidence. Grows on trees, apparently. So, and then, of course, the real genius of this is that it's 3 guys for $723. I don't know what to say at that point. I really don't. I don't. So, WFTV, Sarah Wilson, Jack DeMarco, and Caitlin Breescorn all reported it. I'm angry. 3 deputies resigned after tampering with evidence, according to the sheriff. And it was sent to me by Daryl, Jeff, and Christopher. Thanks a lot. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law.
A stockbroker urged me to buy a stock that would triple every year. I told him at my age, I don't even buy green bananas.